Our life and our actions throughout in life is controlled by our subconscious mind 95%. 5% of our actions and our actual things that we do in our life is controlled by the conscious mind. And what that goes to show is that the subconscious is in control, right? Our beliefs, our thoughts, our processes, what we've been taught and teached and basically learned throughout the years of us being younger and initially instilled in our brains, our beliefs literally control our reality and our lives, right? And it's crazy to think about it, but what that means, in other words, is that if you reprogram your subconscious, you can literally change your life. You can alter the reality of your life and achieve things that you never, one, thought were possible, and two, things that you would have never been able to achieve is going to be able to come to fruition, right? And it's crazy to think about it that way. And I've actually done some research on this quite some time now, and I've been researching a lot about kind of like how the subconscious works and how to reprogram it essentially. And basically, to put it in a nutshell, the subconscious is the part of our brain that acts without any conscious decisions, right? For example, you believing something and having a belief towards something is all from your subconscious, right? So let's say when you were younger, right? Let's say you were younger and you made a lot of friends in kindergarten. Let's say your mother or your father, one of your like figures, one of your parent figures, told you that, let's say your mom came and told you, hey Haider, I like you're really good at speaking with people, you're really good at making friends. And they kept saying this to you. In the end, once you've gotten older, you'd become a extrovert. You'd be able to have a lot easier with speaking with people just because you've been programmed from young. You've been have that belief process that I'm just someone that is able to speak with someone. I'm someone that is able to have conversations with someone, right? Now, another thing with that is the caveat of that, right? Which is also a good thing because let's say you had parents that were a little bit more strict and they weren't that nice, that they didn't have that good parental figure that you wanted to have, essentially, that you wished you had, and they told you that you're bad at this or you don't even know how to do this, like stop doing that, are you stupid or whatever that is, right? That also forms you as your character and who you are today. But that doesn't mean that you can't change. You can always change. We are lifelong human beings that are always malleable. We're always changeable. It doesn't matter if you're here today, living in 2025, and you're 50 years old and you've been programmed something for your whole life. It doesn't mean that you can't change it. Like you can all be changed. You can reprogram your subconscious, even wherever you are in your life, right? And another cool thing is that you guys have probably noticed, but athletes do this a lot, right? Entrepreneurs do this, but even athletes, there's one thing that is quite similar with athletes and entrepreneurs is that they visualize a lot, right? And they reprogram their subconscious. Like you guys have probably seen, John Jones does this a lot. Conor McGregor does this a lot. He's talked a lot about it, the art of visualization, seeing yourself become the winner, becoming the champion before you're the champion. Because only if you can see it in your mind before you actually become it, that is when you're able to become it in real life. If you're not able to believe it yourself, it's not going to happen, literally. And what's also cool about that is I remember I read through I didn't read through, I listened to a podcast of some people talking about it. And initially, and I've read through it as well, that your brain, it doesn't know the difference between something you're visualizing to be true initially and something you're experiencing in real life. It doesn't know. So what that means is that if you repeat a specific scenario or if you repeat a specific thing that happened towards in your life or is supposed to happen or you visualize a specific moment, you'll be able to achieve that in real life, right? It's crazy to think about it that way, but your brain doesn't know that you've experienced that or not, right? It just doesn't know. So if you're visualizing yourself being rich, living a great life in Dubai, living by the palm, making a lot of money, having the cars you want, the lifestyle you want, the freedom you want, your brain doesn't know if that's true or not. It literally doesn't. It doesn't know the difference, right? So if you keep visualizing something like that and you keep visualizing the same thing over a long, prolonged period of time, you literally change your reality. Now, obviously, it's not only visualization. That's just one of the things, right? Even Conor McGregor, John Jones, they used to do this. They used to visualize themselves doing specific kicks, doing specific punches, doing specific moves, doing specific takedowns in UFC in fighting that they actually went ahead and did in real life. They imagined what happened after they did that. They imagined how they would do that, and they did the exact same thing, and it resulted in the outcome that they wanted, right? It's like, and it's so crazy how you could do it. And I've done this myself. Like I've visualized myself being able to, let's say, close deals, and I've been able to close deals a lot easier than I usually would, right? I visualize myself cold call, book appointments, whatever it may be, you're able to literally visualize yourself and reprogram your subconscious mind to actually believe that you're able to do something that you maybe thought you weren't able to, right? And the key for visualization and the reprogramming of the mind is doing it when your brain is most malleable, right? And what I'm talking about is when your brain is most open to change and iterations and variations, basically. And this video isn't going to be a long video, but what I would recommend, because this topic is extremely huge. You could cover this in literally multiple hours. You could talk about this for years, right? For days, decades. You could just, there's so much about this topic, right? And obviously, I'm not an expert, but I can talk about what I've done myself and what I've experienced. And but I know that it makes a difference, right? And it can literally change your reality, right? So what I would recommend is there's times throughout the day when your brain is in a state called theta state, right? So THTHA, theta state. It is when your brain is most malleable. That is the same state that your brain is in constantly when you're like 1 to 7 years old, I believe, something like that, when you're a child, right? And that is usually the time where you form your primary beliefs, your primarily thoughts and processes, and what you do and what you think, who your parents are, what you believe in, what religion, what thought, but whatever it is, right? That is the age. And we go into this theta state every single night before we fall asleep, literally the 5, 10 minutes before we falling into sleep, when we're going into the deep sleep stage, we're in this state. So to be able to effectively do this, all you have to do is within those minutes, visualize consistency, visualize consistently what you're trying to achieve in life. And you can even listen to some affirmations. You can take on some like theta brainwave sound and then have fill in some visualizations, fill in some affirmations, sorry, about specifically like, let's say, I'm great at sales. I take every opportunity to sell. Um, to initially change somebody's life, whatever it is. I can't think of something on top of my head right now, right? But I'm really good at cold calling. I take every objection as a learning point, and I'm able to convert deals, whatever it may be, right? You do this every single night in this theta state, and you're able to slowly but surely get that and see that into reality and actually change your life, right? I've done this a few times, even with sales. I'm like, it was one time where I didn't close a deal for like, I was at 1.5 month or something. I started doing this, and literally the next week, I'm not going to say literally the next day because it didn't happen. I had to do it for a long time. Literally the next week, I closed a deal, right? It's crazy how this stuff works, but it literally is reprogramming your subconscious mind to start believing that you're able to do something. Once you're able to believe that you're able to do something, your actions align with that, right? Because here's the thing, another thing I'll tell you guys right now, right? Think about it like this, right? If you have negative associations towards something, whether that be work, the gym, whatever it is, you're never ever going to give it your all. Is that true? Yes or no? Like, obviously, if you're watching this, you're going to say, yes, that is true. Because let's say you tell yourself it's not possible to make money online, right? What's going to happen is obviously you're going to face challenges when it comes to making money online. But every single challenge for you is going to be a way of saying, no, don't do this. It's not possible. Give up. Literally. What that's your thought process. However, if you have a thought process of it's possible to make money online, it's possible to become rich via money online, all of a sudden, all those problems and those obstacles are just learning curves. It's literally you going through it, learning, boom, looping back, going forward, and actually ending up making money. Did I think when I started this journey, before I even started, did I think it was possible for me to make 7, 8K a month? And even though that's not a lot, but considering my age and where I live and essentially people around me, like people that I shouldn't compare myself to, but my peers, where I am right now, one of the reasons why I have to move essentially is if I didn't believe that was possible, I wouldn't be here today. It's not possible, literally. Do you think someone sitting in the 9 to 5 believing that there's not possible to make online money would ever make online money? No, they would take every opportunity to believe, to reconfirm with their mind what they said is true, essentially, that it's not possible, right? So whatever chance they have, they're going to tell their mind, oh, I'm speaking the truth. It's not possible, right? Same with sales, same with everything. If people sell you If people tell you on sales calls that, oh, this product is bad and oh, your service is bad, you don't know how to deliver, etc., whatever it is, and you don't reprogram your mind to be able to believe that you're able to actually deliver, you're going to all of a sudden start having some doubts around it and start selling less. You're going to be bad at stuff. That's just literally how it works. It's you attract what you are, you attract yourself literally in this life. It's like if you if you're looking for something specifically, you'll be able to find it. You'll be able to find opportunity in everything, right? You guys have probably heard of like the red car theory. If you, because most of you guys probably been outside today, like how many red cars did you see outside today? You didn't know. But if I tell you tomorrow, call all, like count all the red cars, you're all of a sudden going to start seeing just red cars. It's happened with me so many times. If I'm thinking of a specific car, like let's say a Range Rover, right? And I'm thinking of this specific Range Rover, I wouldn't have noticed them if I didn't think of it. But since I'm thinking of this Range Rover, all of a sudden I'm seeing the same Range Rover, maybe in different colors, different shapes, but it's the Range Rover I'm talking about, right? Maybe it has a kit, maybe it doesn't, but it's the same thing. And all of a sudden I start seeing these things. It's like you're putting this stuff in front of you just based on kind of your thoughts. And your thoughts and processes literally change your reality, right? Change and alter whatever you're wanting to get in life. So what I would recommend and what I always do is literally spend the last 5, 10 minutes of the day of when you're about to fall asleep. Visualize those times, visualize those moments, visualize what you're looking to achieve, visualize your life into fruition, visualize what you're trying to get out of life, and promise you it will definitely just lead to positive things, and it can definitely change your life for the better, right? Because again, as mentioned, looping back to it, your brain doesn't know the difference, man, of between what you're actually visualizing and what has actually happened. And I'll leave you guys with one thing, one super important thing, which I wouldn't say learned the hard way, which I learned after a few times, is don't visualize the end goal. Don't visualize yourself laying on a stack of cash. Visualize yourself doing the hard work that will lead to the stack of cash, right? So we're talking, if you have an agency like me, you know exactly what you need to do to be able to achieve the results and make money, make stacks of cash with an agency, right? Essentially, you need to either cold call, do some type of outbound strategy. That's what you have to do. Then you have to sell these people. You have to make sure that you deliver a good service. Visualize yourself delivering a good service, right? Visualize your client sending you a message saying, Haider, this is awesome. I just sold a property for 20 grand. You've changed my life. Visualize that. Visualize sales calls, people saying, oh my God, like I believe this is possible. I believe I can make this money. I believe I can make this change. Visualize them saying, yes, let's go in and do this. Visualize yourself being able to handle objections, right? Visualize yourself when you're cold calling to handle objections. Visualize yourself booking these appointments, taking through the questions. Visualize yourself. Point is, visualize yourself doing the work. Don't visualize yourself sitting in the Lamborghini. I mean, you could do that throughout the day. You can visualize that. You can visualize yourself sitting in a Lamborghini or a penthouse in Miami, Dubai, wherever you want to go. But visualize primarily yourself doing the hard work that is required to be able to achieve the lifestyle you want to achieve. Because only then you're going to be the one to be able to do the hard work that you're supposed to do and actually achieve the lifestyle. Because you only receive what you are. You receive what you are in this world, inputs, outputs, whatever you would like to say, but it's true, right? You like we don't achieve goals. Literally, as people, we don't achieve goals. We achieve a character, an individual that is able to achieve those goals, right? You yourself right now, which might be the version one of you, is not able and is not pursuable to be able to achieve those goals that you've set out to yourself. But your version five will be, your version two will be very different from you right now. So that's the main thing, guys. Definitely spend time visualizing that, and always do that. It's super important, especially in the evenings before you go to bed, or even in the mornings. You can do this throughout the day. You can even have like a what do you call it? Like a form, and then just fill it out and have some affirmations and some visualization lines there as well. And it makes a difference. It makes a huge difference in actually becoming who you want to become. All right. So definitely try to do that, guys, and I'll see you guys in the next video as well, guys. Peace out.